I think, dude, I mean, we're only at 35 minutes. I mean, fuck it. You just want to do the show right now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Why not? Fuck it. So UFC 252 preview show, it's on. What a huge fight this is, dude. The winner of this fight is the GOAT, the heavyweight GOAT.
Yes, sir.
So it's like, I'm just so excited because remember a few months ago we were talking about this fight and we're like, this fight's never going to fucking happen. They're going to strip Stipe. Like, this fight's, the negotiations are fucked, but it's here. It's next
here,
week,
and
dude.
it is next Saturday.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for it, Tabor. I am just so excited about this. This is for the pound for pound greatest heavyweight of all time in the UFC. And what a way to do it. You got Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier. And dude, this is the third. This is the trilogy. This is the fight that we all wanted to see. And
it's the only fight. It was the only fight to make in the heavyweight division.
It is.
It was the only fight that matters in the heavyweight division. I know Francis is on a tear right now, knocking fools out in 25 seconds.
The next shot.
Absolutely. Yep. But it's like this fight is in a league of its own. Yep. Mainly because of the way Stipe put the beating on Francis. Like that performance was legendary. Yeah, he was getting cracked hard with giant punches, but it just shows you the legendary chin that Stipe has. And it can't shock you that he got knocked out cold 6 months later off a performance like that. So,
well, this is the legacy fights of legacy fights. Like, this is the very definition of that.
Yes.
And I just, man, God. And I got to say, too, like, and you know me, I'm a huge DC fan. It's probably my favorite fighter, I got to be honest. Like, I love
he's up
Daniel
there for me.
Cormier.
He's top 3, I think.
He is, like, one of the coolest dudes of all time. I love the Ariel Helwani and DC show.
Yeah, such a great show.
It's such a good show, man. And DC's just funny. He's such a likable guy. I never understood back in the day why people hated DC. You remember that?
Yeah, I did. I was one of those guys.
I was never.
Well, it seemed like he was a shit talker. That's what it seemed like. But I don't know what happened. Maybe it was because he became a commentator, but something happened with the fans. Like, this man was not loved like he is right now.
And I never, dude, back in the day, I never understood that. I was like, DC was always one of my favorite fighters of all time.
I think because he might have came off as arrogant.
Yeah, but what fighter doesn't come off as arrogant?
Exactly.
I mean, in all seriousness, like, fuck, you want to talk about arrogant? If you
John Jones, yeah, well, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, again, John Jones has every right to be arrogant. He's the GOAT of all time. Yeah, I mean, come on, like, you know, so he has a right to be arrogant, but I don't know. That's kind of a cheap cop-out, in my opinion, because I think
that's what it was. I mean, I was one of those guys. I used to think, like, man, I don't like this cocky guy. I don't like this guy who just says he's going to win every single fucking time because he's undefeated.
Yeah, but he did, you know, until those losses to John Jones. But
yeah, I don't know why. Since now I love him. Now he's easily one of my most favorite fighters.
I love him.
It's him. Stipe's up there too, though. Like, I fucking love Stipe Miocic.
Oh, we know.
Like, I love that guy.
Yes, you
and
do.
He's got that immigrant mentality, like fucking Joey Diaz says.
Joey Diaz, the man.
Well, he's just the man. Like, fucking, you know, if he's not training, he's fucking saving cats out of trees, kissing babies and shit like that, being a full-time firefighter.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, the guy's just an awesome guy. And it's funny because every interview he ever does, he mumbles through everything. He's a super hardcore mumbler. You can't understand shit he says. But he always talks about how when he gets back to the firehouse, they're like, hey, man, why don't you wear your belt while you go clean these toilets and shit like that? They just humble him instantly.
Yeah.
So he can't be, oh, I'm that guy. He just can't be. Because he goes back to the fire station, he's instantly scrubbing toilets and shit. So
and before that second fight with DC, he said, like, in interviews, I remember watching it all the time, he goes, these firefighters pitch me so much shit because I lost to this dude. He goes, I got to go out there and whoop his ass. He goes, I have to. He goes, they are relentless in pitching me shit. He goes, I'm just so tired of hearing it. He goes, I got to go out there and beat DC. And before the second fight, and sure enough, he did in the fourth. Beautiful performance by Stipe, especially, too, because in my personal opinion, I thought DC was winning that fight up until that point.
All rounds. The fourth was it.
The fourth was the final one, but those body shots, that left body shot over and over and over. I mean, I think I counted like at least 10.
It was like 13, I think.
Yeah, at least 10. Yeah, 13. It was wild.
Let's talk that fight because so the first round, DC took him down and ground him into the mat. And obviously dominated that whole round, didn't let him back up.
Yeah.
And then from the second on, was just swinging on him and was beating his ass, essentially. He was really beating Stipe. Like, he was fucking him up there for 3 rounds until Stipe's coach got in his face and says, dude, you need to dig. You need to dig deep. I know what's in you. What are you doing? Comes out, hits the body shots, and took over the fight from there. Yeah. And it was like, that's obviously not your game plan because Stipe said it himself. Have you watched the countdown yet? for this.
No,
It just came out today.
yet.
I watched it before I came over. And Stipe
it came out today?
Yeah, it just came out.
I'll have to watch it then.
Yeah, I watched it before I came over. Stipe was saying that fuck, what did he say? Brain farting.
I don't know.
No, he was saying that the entire time it felt like his feet were in quicksand. Like he couldn't move. He was standing in front of him, allowing DC to hit those shots. I don't know if that's an excuse or what, but if he moves and actually finds a way to keep a little bit of distance and uses that reach that we all know he has on DC, this could be a very interesting fight. But it's just such a tough one to break down because if DC really wants to, I think he could take him down every round.
So do I.
As long as the cardio holds up.
Are we predicting this fight?
Oh, we have to.
Yeah, we'll pick it.
Let's pick it. We're doing this fight first, so we're picking it first.
So let's pick it first. Again, this is a very intriguing matchup. If you look at the Vegas odds, they have them both at a -110 right now.
Yeah, that's
how close this fight is, folks.
And that's pretty much perfect odds.
It is perfect odds. It's the only thing that makes sense.
I really do think this fight's a pick'em.
I do. Yeah, absolutely. But if I'm being honest, I have complete and utter confidence in Daniel Cormier. I'm just listening to this dude in interviews. He just seems at peace. He seems relaxed. He has accepted the mistakes that he made in that second fight. His head wasn't in the right place. But whenever I hear an interview, man, he just seems, as I said before, he seems at peace. He seems ready to go. And I really hear the intensity in his voice. Even though he's at peace, you can tell he wants this. He desires this more than anything else. And not to say Stipe doesn't, because of course Stipe does too. But what the sense that I'm getting from Stipe, from what I've heard from the interviews and stuff, is Stipe seems to be like exuding this like very negative energy, just very still upset, just very still frustrated. And I think that does eat away at the soul at someone. Because we heard that a lot in the second fight with DC, how DC was kind of starting to get negative and not really. So for me, I think DC comes out and has the performance of a lifetime. I have him winning 4th round, and I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go crazy here. I think he's going to rear naked choke submission in the 4th round.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. That'd be fucking awesome. I totally could see it happening. But, Stipe, I don't think he's going to come in and have the same performance he had in his last fight. Because that wasn't the Stipe that we all know Stipe to be. It just seemed like until the 4th round, that's the Stipe that we know. The guy landing those body shots, the guy going for the finish. That's the Stipe that we know. That's the Stipe that we love. And that wasn't the Stipe that fought those first 4 rounds. If the Stipe that showed up in the 4th shows up in the first round of this fight, I think this could be a completely different fight. I think this is going to be a 5-round war. I don't think either man's going to finish each other. If it goes down to the ground, DC will have the advantage, obviously. Greco-Roman, Olympic-style wrestler. Yep. But Stipe was stuffing a few of those takedowns into later rounds in their second fight. So if he can find a way to stuff a couple, he doesn't have to stuff them all. But if he could find a way to stuff those later takedowns into 3rd and 4th, I wouldn't be shocked if he found ways to steal rounds. And I'm going to take Stipe 3-2, Stipe unanimous decision.
Alrighty. Wow. That'll be a fun fight nonetheless. I'm just, dude, this is the fight that we've wanted to see for a year, Taylor.
Honestly, it really has.
A year, man. And I cannot wait for Saturday night. It's just going to be a great time. This card is stacked, too. So
absolutely stacked.
Let's talk about this co-main event. We got Suga Sean Omalley versus Marlon Chito Vera for the co-main bantamweight. Sean O'Malley sitting at 12-0, still undefeated. But man, does he have a task in front of him with Chito Vera. This is a phenomenal fight as well. How do you see this one breaking down?
Sean O'Malley, first round KO.
Oh, okay.
Dude, the hype train. Hopping right in. Yeah, dude, the hype train is fucking huge for Sugar, dude. It's real and it's huge. Everyone's jumping on it. He's everyone's favorite fighter. He's making all this fucking money. But this is the biggest test to date, dude. Yes, Marlon Vera is a fucking striking savage. And it's hard for me to say first round KO. I have to. I feel like I have to because I took O'Malley decision last time, and then he gets the first round KO, and I just hated myself for not saying it because it's what I wanted to say just because it's like a meme already. But I have to say it. Sugar Sean O'Malley, first round KO. I just think he's just going to be the more technical striker. This could be the most technical striking matchup on this entire card. I think it really is. I think it's easily going to be the most technical striking matchup on the card. Sugar Sean's striking, I really do think it's next level. He does stuff that other guys don't do. spinning back fists into head kicks.
And the way he sets it up, too. And he's just so fluid in his movement. I mean, you know, he's very deceiving. Like, he'll bring his shoulder back. It's a pop. And it's just like, whoa, where the fuck did that come from?
Well, his last knockout, Eddie Wineland, the fake fucking uppercut.
Yep.
It was so beautiful.
Beautifully timed, too.
So beautiful. But Chito is one of these guys that's never been finished. It's never been finished. So if he did get the first round KO, which is what I'm predicting, it's gonna be like
him to the next level.
Absolutely. Big giant fight after that. Fucking everyone freaks out.
Main event fight.
Yep, it's gonna be the reaction clip all over the YouTubes. Kids freaking out, throwing shit.
Oh, dude, all those Twitch kids, those fucking 14, 15-year-olds. Oh my god!
Yeah, they're all gonna be freaking out.
That's the thing,
smoking
too,
joints at the same time.
Because like you think about the UFC, like kids don't. I'm saying majority, okay? Majority of 14, 15-year-olds, unless you were me, because that's when I started watching UFC. But
yeah, same.
Most kids don't give a fuck about fights.
No.
But they care about Sugar Sean.
Yeah.
And they will tune in to watch him.
Yeah, they'll buy the pay-per-view because he's on
because of him. And if he has another highlight knockout reel on top of that, and a guy who's never been finished in one Chito Vera, I mean, I should say his name, Marlon Moreira. But I'm telling you right now, dude, it will propel his career. It'll be the best thing for him.
Next Israel Adesanya, next Conor McGregor, dude. He could be
superstar.
Big. He could be huge. Yeah, first round KO. I have to go with him.
Alrighty. Well, so this is how I see this going down. Marlon Vera, Chito Vera, whatever. I think he's a phenomenal fighter. I think he beat Song Yadong. I thought it was real close. Actually, I don't know if he beat him, but it was
super close. You could see either man winning it. That's more of a fight that, there needs to be more draws, dudes, because there are so many fights that it's hard.
Yeah, there has to be. I mean, when it's razor thin close like that, like what? Let's call it a draw. That way, because unlike any other sport, one loss will set you back 2 years. That's a long time in someone's career, man. So I think if fights are razor close like that, and it's like a matter of 1 or 2 punches, we got to give it a draw. So both guys are set up for the future because it was such a great fight. Yeah. But nonetheless, not getting on that topic, I think this is going to be a much tougher matchup for Suga Sean O'Malley. Again, I think he's a phenomenal striker, phenomenal fighter, but I think he's going to get into some murky waters here. I think it's going to be a lot harder for him, and we're going to see his heart. We're going to see how much heart this kid has, how much tenacity he has, because what I've seen a lot in people's careers is, we just saw it with Edmund Shabazian.
Yep.
Okay? When you go out there and you knock out dudes every time in the first round, it's real easy. It's real easy to be like, I'm the man. No one can defeat me. But when you get taken into those murky waters, man, you gotta see the heart in those fighters because it's a lot different. And Brunson was piecing him up in the second and third round, looked phenomenal. So for me in this, I think Sean O'Malley is going to be taken into murky waters. I think this goes the distance, but I think we're going to see the heart and the superstar that is Sean O'Malley. So I have to go Suga Sean O'Malley by decision.
And if Chito Vera wins, which is a very winnable fight for him as
very winnable fight.
He's going to steal all that hype. He could be the next fucking guy because he was already a guy it had like 9 or 10 wins in the UFC, finally broke into the top 15 with that Song Yadong fight. And then, unfortunately it doesn't go his way, but so many people saw him winning that fight.
Yes.
So
and
it's interesting.
Either way with that fight, as we just brought up. So yeah.
Yeah. It's a very interesting matchup. I'm glad they made this matchup. If Suga Sean O'Malley gets the KO or even the win, he has to get a huge matchup, dude. I'm talking Dominic Cruz. I'm talking fucking somebody like that. Well,
and that's something that we had brought up earlier where we'd really like to see Dominic Cruz take on Suga Sean O'Malley because Dominic Cruz is like 11 or 12 right now.
It's a perfect fight.
It's a perfect fight. After this, if he does beat Marlon Moreira.